Right, Sky Power Radio and TV Services Studios, West Yorkshire, Leeds, Stencil Mount. Welcome to our weekly civic education program. Jamano, Assalamu alaikum, Bading Olu, Al Kontong, Mobe, Dauda, Anibe, Watu Wachito. Kontron Droko Lansnal, Bismillah, na programo Minka Sotojang, Lokum Lokum, Inyantem Bensita, Sky Power Civic Education. Nal Badimalo Mustafa, Jame Membesir in program Okuna. Pocket Eagle continue landing in your feature Sky Power Radio and TV services by Co Studios West Yorkshire Leeds, Tencel Mount, and Accent Harit Mustafa Jamenekal Rajobi, si Bunti program, civic education program. Yo Alfal mi alo ketaramfe loko ninyi antemben sita wolong dai jobade Sulaiman Jeng aning Bamba Mas bambangala bi join later lundangol be expectant menketa mamadi alaji mamadi kurang aning falli farera e promiso ke ko ibinala but hansa meje maka said falli farera and alaji mamadi kurang promised to join us today to be part of this weekly civic education program. Our topic title today would be the OIC, was it of a benefit or waste for the Gambian people? On that note, we got Suleiman Jeng and they at the moment will come to ladies first. Nay, Inimbare Mokende, welcome aboard. Thanks for your time, energy, and effort, Nay. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Mustafa and Abarkabake for holding the fort for all the week. Wati ika tarajanka mixo molbe bejanka kode coordinate. Bafala mbe Suleiman fanan kontona aning Bamba na ko panalisol. Ha mbe molbe juberlal fanan mel wati ka tara juberola mbe ka comment la mbe kontona.
Thank you very much, Ndeye Mbara. Sol nganuyo.
Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ajaratu Ndeye mangla nuyu sa tur sa santa. Ak sa wachuwaay Mustafa yoit mangla nuyu di la santa. Same to Bamba Mas ñu xamne ñu nekk di seetaan di ñu déglu ñoo nit ku nekk nuyu nañ la sa tur ak sa santa. Be pare gannaaw loolu ñu ngi jégalu ci tardement tuuti bi ñu am tey normally dañ dee start 5 o'clock waaye because ñu ngi doon xaar suñ guest yi am na wax nañ Mamadi Kurang so promise na he is coming online waaye Falli Fadera moom mënuñ ko jot call nañ ko directly waaye mënuñ ko am so bëgguñoo na teel a ñëw rek pour bi gan yi ñëw waaye gis nañ ne because tardement baa ngi xala yàgga ñu ne xaaral ñu commencé rek ñoom fi ñu fekk rek ñu continuer ak ñoom jërë ngeen jëf ci tardement bi.
am na solo lool sol jërëjëf ci loolu waaye lay ci tey suñ bunti programme bunti waxtaan bi maanaam suñ topic bi moo di OIC bi OIC xewoon na fële ci Gambia maanaam semaine bu passé so waaye OIC bi xam nga is for the Gambia dafa ñëw Gambia moo ko host so xamanda am na njëriñ ci Gambia ni su dee njëriñ yaa ngi fa ban njëriñ lañu amal ak su dee amuñ njëriñ ban waste moo fa nekka so loolu am na solo lool comme nga fa ñamen ni sura account ko OIC programme mi ala keta Gambia banko kan la kacha ko lafta kamin jibe wolom OIC fo Gambia dingol nafale bam fo ame nafa nin nafa bije mun nafale bije nin nafa tije mun nafale tije ani mi waste bije mun waste lom cause fengo feng ayanda na la banko kan ayanda kala feneti mi ala banko dingol nafala banko dingol ba benefit sotolaje so wala tin nga nyuluntam bu ñaari ngol commande pour na taram fe bari batro meta mema kan moy meje so on se kacha ko because on kala flo ko nimba kala mole taram fe min yalon wole kulonje bari mol fana bi jande min yalon ko kulo nyin kuro kan dolbe mo gambe dingol let and fewo fenga e gambe ma ni aje akan concern yim panel sol be civic education ngajela ko ayen sulale pour ngana nga kachala ayen sulale pour ngana nga fo ngaje ko fewo fenketa kutije mi alon yake on behalf of dolle molbe toyala ende kala kulete mi alon ba discourse la ende kala kulete mi alon ba kachala fo a betema fo a jewma fewo fembije fonna falon fonna fa bale alon pour ka kacha wo kamara ndey your thoughts itala miro to sahalat bu ndaw ci manam OIC bi nay
Mustafa, well, what Rumahalat, now the languages are getting confusing. I refuse to talk about the OICB Dore Sol Sukonini by Hell. I refuse to comment. And Nini Legele, you said, no message, they will more water as the OICB. I didn't say it because, I mean, for me, it's just negative. And I just feel like our people didn't benefit something like OIC. And I think this is the 15th session that Gambia has held. Most of the countries, Solen Hole, OIC, the people benefited, infrastructure be. So OIC be yes, and they give the dividend, and they give benefits. Why man dara la gisut lo hamne mun na wax ne benefit yi tali yi ñoo wax sax sampa nañ ko way tali yi jeexuñ pare wuñ so these are the things man loolu tax comment ma ko because gisuma benefit yi maa ngi gis RTS Sénégalais yi RTS ñu ngi ñëw I'm seeing Degana even Leka is they went to bring people from Morocco. Mane kanya Gambia nyaka toga bu neex or toga bu correct. Then you order them is other people to come and do that because I remember in Gambia Swing Chef was international then award on international crown call for international cook or chef award be. So we have people who can cook international. So Swing Toge benga hamne ñun host OICB. Swing domi de kay yeguñ ko benefit ko because man luma believe dama ne this OIC dañ ko waroon a jox Sénégal rek Gambia bokk si rek waaye benefit bi was more to Sénégal than Gambia doomi Gambia ni néegi daaneel nit ñi daaneel seen néegi daaneel seen business yëpp maa ngi doon xalaat ne OIC bi su ñëwee bés bu ñëwee dinañ leen jël jox leen some of the contracts yi help leen ñoom tam ñu pick up but that didn't happen I didn't see that to moto yi sax in jail rent land ici land from other countries there's a lot of cars in Gambia yoo xam ne sophisticated beautiful cars so they may see car dealership yi rental yi they could have rented those ones also to boost the businesses internally so these are all these things lota more difficult on pour manuma comment si very OICB because gisuma lan la benefit suñ dëkka because gisuma lan la benefit suñ nit ñi so li ma doon wax rek dañ ko waroon a hand over Sénégal rek le Sénégal take over ñun ñu nekk si lim def Gambien lim ñu teg moo natu dan benefit because néegiñ daaneel pour samparooti ana ñooñu seen benefit si for dem lan lañ leen dimbale ñiñ daaneel seen business yi yaaxa seen business yi ana ñooñu luñ leen jox so at the end of the day we pay the price te on top of that price biñ pay ñu ngi also lepp ci kaw loolu boo xam ne buñ war a ñëw fay so it is double jeopardy la so man feel like emagum but as I said I think they should have given to Senegal who have benefited more than we do.
Okay, OIC should have gone to Senegal. Sol, your thoughts?
Well, anyway, Gambia still deserve one for HOSCO. And looking at the positive bit, the positive side of it, Moene Bena put Gambia more on the limelight because most of the media ñu ngi cover ne Gambia host OIC be inviting several head of states around the world, especially in the Islamic Ummah. Bepare Gambia being the current chair also is another boost. Of course, they mention Yoni, even though they're not complete. Why Gisnen briefly it has changed the face of KMC and its surrounding because Yoni definitely lampai flowers, and a lot of people might not see, the actual benefit of it. Why, for me, I think Lulu, that decoration has helped to give that place a new facelift. ñaareel bi tamit henna not as planned. Why hamna few Gambians have benefited economically from the OIC by selling stuff or henna through employment. Why, notwithstanding it has its own negative aspects, but I'm just looking at these little positive bits until later. Jërëjëf Jeff.
Inimbara wake sol jërëjëf ci loolu Bamba inimbara kadim inimbara nkaya ko nseble mul kondong and ngi nka fanang muna mu ila thoughts ti ila miro to kula mimbe dending nying OIC mi ya lon ko akete Gambia thing nga foka cha ko no ka cha lali ya foko niaje OIC fo na fa bala fo na fa tala fa gamben kol na fa me na fa fo benefit bi je fati je akumara nyin kol kono bake wala nan ko sina nga discuss nga kacha nga lundangol commande nan ke commande pour ina etaram fe bari hansa mam funti na leta malo mu lateness school ba kere mo tule to lebul bar sa mbamba itela jerodo OIC min kera Gambia fo yamra Gambia dingol nafa le bam fame nafa bije fo nafa tije bam
Mustafa baraka bake mbela lam na lamur lal konton na mbe na sister ndey jubate my iron lady mba konton na bake mbe Suleiman Jeng fanan konton na tonya bi kay bi malong fo nasole ama bang abe fenkerin domanding abe sumayaring abia kandire akankura mamanna so viewers all mbal konton na bake mbal tentula bada auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim rabbi sharah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Mustafa, OIC kumayatal baring Gambia misil mole siata so misil mole ben Gambia womu Gambia fana ye ala tentolet hanna ya tara amanke economic benefit fon damati me alon ko fanko la karola bari pour misil mole ben ye duake na banko kan momo ala ya da amari ala ye bunya diala itele be jutla bunya la bari ala ay hadamadi o bela bunya so ni o hadamadi lu ka fo jama be na tana ben ton la banko ka wo munye bunya la wala mu number 1. Number 2 ni ajube fana muslim umma problem jamal le be kerin dunia kono me alon ka be muslim umma ni afrika Palestine be wol kono le Sudan kelo be wol kono la nin dula ko jamalu Eritrea ning Ethiopia fana be nyola muslimol men be je wol fana adiamo siata. So misil molu bla jamal bi je problem mol be sharing that was an opportunity a chance men sort of pour ko discuss yo bari ni OIC mo be jube Mustafa ndenga jela ko economically among na fa baake in fact I entorale because Gambia ka balu through small businesses lala ñing jende njaay ndingolu wolle banko be wolle bulokon na kono bato be wolle bulokon niolu be wafati marché o kono ye tora ye borim ye halaki ye bata amanna na fennati fengme ala ko isa ko bring OIC banta say munel bi jense mbulolo mendu kan wo dula diamo siata bag andon na fulo fanam mem fanam be pisir pasata menta da for almost a lot of billions wo fanan ni ku ya warta bag anin secondly fanan OIC na tana fengolu men luas bankol bulu itata Red Cross pour ka ambulance luas Red Cross bulu ene Red Cross ye da même fo inata Red Cross jamfa itata Senegal itata luas dala men jawya to dal Red Cross Senegal fana compagnie me ni contrat ko wol fana na muru Gambia Red Cross ka Gambia Red Cross la moto ambulance luas kana muru ka luas itol OIC ma when ne ku ya bakela because obviously ka luas Gambia ma kodo nyetu Gambia wala be Gambia fana ma ko la economically janni be findi lay bita banku dol la feol tala ani motol men yalon ko men fana luas nan fo Morocco lembam fo min tolembam wo fana ni ku ya warta bake because nte buka men understand Mustafa wadel tambida naliaje Gambia ye ambulance lu parade ko ambulance jamale nata Gambia Mbengo ambulance ol jele on the social media ebe silence olu firindila ebe yayi la banko kam ol bebe condamné ko ambulance ol siata silang o ay si ambulance ku wonte mo wala understand mona ne ko itata ambulance ol luas ko ambulance ol men yalon ko be Gambia they could have utilized those ambulances ye kodo nyinta ye joran kendo lu sang joran men yalon ko be sulari manyin ambulance dolu ko itata men luas Senegal wara itata men luas Red Cross yalo ndola molu katara menna e ke mira ila fankun kilim jiba kickback i gridi tal wado do kala fike banem fan i gridi tal fadel na tambita because i katare mira la membe dunnetu la jibo kono dan membe banko na fala sometimes i ka block le fan ilam in their thinking because ne ajube ma nyim parado motol men yalo ko molu katita la tay ni ko Amedi Jai wo afi Gambia ma 12 million dollar. Can you imagine per vehicle? Ba omu nyamato yalti, omu kilimbal yalti, omu jaw yalti, omu kafri yalti, omu demalo fa mo même fawti fa. Man tole fa sotal. Because ite wuluta banko menka. Ke akola to nyawnya. Ni million le mo hanna ya 10 soto profit 1,000 warang hani 5,000 yolo sort of profit la wo bete atale because obviously ite be men sort la profit la wo abeda nete kungol la banko tina faso to law yo anu wakan ni ku ya bagale Mustafa nde ni OIC ko ay content le natana suno sota ko because ay content ko anata Gambia bar natana suno soto ndolla mol menu ngamenu marandi OIC la ni man sakunda me alo ay wolle taramar lol wol natana manya sifa men ken tolla bankola ay torale taman nafa Mustafa mbewla folo fo janni nyaato domandi ala baraka
ni mara bake bamba kumata bake because kuoku ni banku ni be kuoku kela ikala fin nafala je benefit mi alon ko abela mol nafala bari and what benefit the level of poverty in the Gambia for a level of Benjamin in the Gambia and in mola bata level of Benjamin in the Gambia that amount of money spent of mi alon ko the benefit doesn't filter down amon futa mola mi alon wol sulatala. Whoa, it's a bit painful, you know. Malong and they
because niaje Mustafa kodol men ka foning OIC men ye men use ye men ta foning OIC la kola ye so mella ani ye melta ye don to me alon ko Gambia dingol le binawo fanan jola ye kokuta nyanta mol benefit la ya ta mel iba kala melk anyanta wolle benefit la so mol ya je ko nying natale fa banta ndemon fenje zimen fo Gambia men beve ya Mustafa Suleiman ya fole ko this the small ones fenko nakala silol ye mel dada of course ni pareta that should be really nice but meje man pare follow so malon famune be kala OIC bantale kodo bijele bam pour ka nyin continue man so wala man sakunda man fintina kana ko explain because ni project okay ikana le ya explain mole ko OIC bantale sai nyin nit ne keta je nyin nit ne hapunta nga nyin nit ne soto je result o keta nyineti business jolle creator je wala business jolle contact lo bari nata muneje president Balola first lady wala nata kala first lady foundational launch abe mol invite la like ñu mate la networking space leti abala foundational launch la foundation me ko yata 2017 sa in 2024 ba launch la so ay aka mol sobindi koteke ay sobole nati koteke muneketa mun corruption lebe kering koteke nini molbe mun kolla so ndika mem mira ko OIC nyanta no meka ne agente ko nyanta dia no Senegal amanke ko moman la fi ay tarajang yes of course mo nyanta remember ko Saudada Kairaba Jawara was among the founding members of OIC so OIC like is personal to Gambians should be very personal to us because kume mu ntata a dati dulato mbejele na president no benujele a dati dulato a dada dulato a benujele so being sita fonka host after 15 this year well 15 turning lulu conference o woto Gambia nyanta nganyala nyanta kila num nganyal dulale to anyanta kila num benefit lite anyanta kila komi an ko beba nganyala le beba sew andum be sewla konole bari wole man nake because motol jube sai iba moyla ko even Mohamed Jay motol mensan ibe 12 million fokan 185 million all this kodol be ñil ta fala ñeko motol man tara Gambia mel si isi mel tanu ye ñing isi ñol rent nu ye rent isa je tol ñi ñimbe body because Gambia motol sefa je sign and very exclusive motol le bije mu neketa that they couldn't even utilize them ye makoy comme ye menke drive for la ye samba ye train ye la motol check they adjust and see fire behavior. What happened? Because that's why it would have been important because some of these questions could have been answered. What happened? Didn't they meet the requirement or the qualification to hire those cars? Yani motor bita sana nga jamwele kwa motor borrow from that from Mauritania borrow ye motor doleta ye fuala dol santa. So ako jakasita kodol jakasita cool jakasa bari yalo nde lafta fala menna mba stop la daming nim banko corruption banko yata aya institutionalize aya banko aya corruption ta aya ke system moti nyine kake. That is why OIC instead of I am benefit alabanta kila toroleti ndola because juloben kan mola business ol tinyata mola kedula al tinyata molman dolbe dula nyene be la dame be taraje dola business ol tinyata fabrita OIC fela banta what
yes so, it make a lot of sense, so honestly, yeah. My interest here is, the poor and the needy, so honestly, the poor and the needy, what benefit, benefit lefen and soul, because this, all these things I can amal for the policy, logistics, and plans, minkera, this should include everybody, the small business, big business, even the vehicle hire and minkeke Gambian or kaminke in the Gambia. They should look at the kind of vehicle come in here. I forgot, listen, boys, come on board, man. We all need to benefit in all sector. Everybody need to benefit, a minimal amount like some of these things, and and then boy so is I don't know your thoughts on this, so Malam
correct from Funde Jehale. Gambian OIC we should have been, a badge of honor. Bohamne every Gambian that couldn't wear, on his sleeve. Purwonene Lee is our baby. Hamga, our former head of state was one of the founding fathers, and then it has come back home. So obviously, that greater attention and you plan go properly. Hamga, make sure everything goes out well. Why man sisuma gis bunda dama gis ne is like affaire yi dañ ko misplan, dañ ko mismanage be pare nim warona deme from the word go deme would nonu. And towards the end also, so say the OIC, I think dafa constitute 57 head of states. Why so said lo nyata head of state and you, I think is about 5. So which is less than 10% of the total membership. So looking at it in that perspective, need munna wahne then OIC bi dafa fail in terms of attendance. Understand nga fail na in terms of attendance. Nyarel bi tamit so gise like Gessi dañ leen waroon a seen invitation si jox leen seen security bi ne leen si hotel nangam o place nangam ngeen a stay, waaye da nga gis ne loolu yëpp defuñ ko. So da nga gis ne tax na ba pare ñu bari si Gessi ñëwuñ because benn yow yaa ngi ñëw yaa ngi xalaat sa security, yaa ngi xalaat sa locations ak all those things. Xam nga like fii sooy dem to a conference dan la dene so demee da nga dem Ibis Hotel or
you
hotel
know everything balanga prior to nga
bi mooy sa room number yaa ngi war a arrive at this time xam nga di nga xam sa logistics yëpp ak security bi waaye yooyu yëpp soo ko seetloo it didn't go as it should have been so man si suma gis-gis tax na ba xen na loolu moo waral sax ñeneen ñi din bother to come because benn bi hotel yi Gambia of course am na some exclusive houses ak hotels waaye du amuñ enough xam nga 5-star hotels yoo xam ne dina host 57 head of states so loolu ñoom xamoon nañ ne lii was coming at least today 2 years waroon nañoo door building bi ak construction bi ñu xam nga open tender si wherein Gambian indigenous businesses would be prioritized to be awarded the awards for build structures before you them the hire other places. So come like so said on the social media, information we gain is just so alarming. Corruption be cloud, the organization, the management, and the running of the OIC is very disturbing. So I'm not kena kima you mustn't voice me. I'm going to challenge, the Minister of Information pour ko gena debunk limowa. Understand? So Lee is just disheartening because obviously immediately after the OICB, nyom waron na nyo def sen stock take. Okay, these are the failures, these are the successes, and this is what we could have done better. You know, to the Gambian people, well, OICB has been hosted. It had it came to an end. Why li agli yon henna yon bi ag bi parengut? Why expect within 2 months or 3 months yon bi dina pare? Okay, ñu waroon a compensate seen xaalis bi obviously ministre Silla génn na di wax ne am na ñoo xam ne amuñ kayit proper documentation moo tax compensate tu leen o xëy na dañ am family dispute so waaye man si suma gis-gis waxoon naa ko bu njëlbeen bi family si suñ amee seen internal problem loolu is a family internal problem loolu has nothing to do with the state dañ leen war a compensate jox leen seen xaalis ñoom ñoo xam naka lañ ko setule ok su fekkee ne tamit na ñu bari amuñ list lifin kër yu bari suñ paa yi duñ daan lifin seen kër yi dañ dee fee naamu waaye comme amuñ kayiti kër o ak yooyu waaye doesn't mean ne everybody xam nañ ne bii kër yi diw la so loolu su fekkee ne loolu am na war nañu compensate ñooñu because somebody else war a ñëw di claimaat ne man maa moom kër gi already compensate ngeen diw boobu is in record yooyu amut ñaareel bi is like comme vehicle hiring bi one yaa ngi dégg benn ñu naan 100 vehicles lañ purchase benn ñu naan 89 vehicles so loolu yaa ngi gis 11 vehicles yoo xam ne are not accounted for war nañoo génn ne waaw actually nangam véhicule bi lañ plan on so moom lañ jënda so bidin bi ñu ngi gis gars yi ñu ne dañ end up having a restricted tender boo xam ne ñaari lifin rek Mohamed Jah ak TK Motors lañ allow pour ñu bid so obviously ñaar ñoo am and the revealing thing also the more disturbing thing mooy ne ñu ne xam government bi dafa ameloon TK Motors thing about 35 million or something like that so ñooñu buñ déggee ne ñu ngi dem hire moto from somebody else ñu ñoo ne fay leen ñu suñu xaalis su fekkee ne kay nañu amal fayu leen ñu ngeen di dem hire feneen so ci lañ toonaat li fi naan ñu so affaire yëpp daal dafa rax and I think it's important in issues like this government bi génn a setal boppam because xam nga information su amul rek nit ñi dañ dee make assumptions dañ dee make seen own deductions comme li nga wax with the launching of the First Ladies Foundation so it was ñu ngi ko lifin depuis 2017 ba léegi 2024 ñu ne dañ ko launch so loolu is more than 6 years biñ ko lifinee bete so why has it taken that long pour ñu launch ko and why do they have to launch it now so xam nga yooyu yëpp daf dee tey xel So
they're looking for a space. Well, your space land on so to utilize or to capitalize on, or
no, because the only deduction li nit di wax mooy ne henna probably xaalis the OIC bu des bi henna foofu lañ ko bëgg a channel or something else. So that's assumption.
And even Suleiman also, because I saw you get invite other head of state, the wife of the former head of state and all these things. Man, I just saw it, and what I thought, Moine, they did it because where they went and make networking. So it means Fatuma Barbaro is the one who's benefiting in this OIC. They went and network and get guests to invite. Because I saw the announcement today that one of the people invited, I think it's a Nigerian or something, has pledged $1 million to the foundation. So it's like they benefited. So this is again another thing that are not correct, other things that are not clear as well in this whole thing, and also just go again the institutionalized corruption in this country. And we have to say it and accept it, that there is institutionalization of corruption starting from President Barrow down in this government, and they are not doing anything because it benefits all of them. So that is problematic, and this is why the OIC was not popular among Gambians. Not that Gambians don't want this thing to be hosted. They want it. They looked forward to it because many Gambians were talking about this OIC. If they launch it, they will make business, they will make money, they will do that. So Gambians were looking forward to it. But then they realized that the destruction, when it even came, even before it starts, how many Gambian businesses got contract? Simple thing of food. You bring Moroccans to come and cook. Come on, we talk about our tourist industry, selling our food, selling our hospitality industry. Gambians are known for food anywhere you live. Most African countries, most of these even people, anywhere you live as a Gambian, our food has been something that everybody accept and agree that we are good at cooking. So what's happened that they have to bring all those people there in the country? And also you talk about the level of head of state that attended. I think they said 5 or 7, if I'm not wrong, out of everybody. Why this is the only OIC? Because I went to go through past OIC summits. This is the only OIC you have extremely, this is not even low turnout, extremely low turnout of head of state. It shows the people, because when you are coming as president, you normally send a team first that go.
What makes it even worse, Moine, most of these Arab prince ak kings ñewuñ, and these are the people you have they gonna phone OIC be more. So those people didn't turn out. That would have been a good opportunity for Gambia to invest. I understand ñom do Himalik lo trying to connect with people, trying to establish relationship. So these are little benefits you hamne guy lifin nañ ko. And the other notable one was Gambians, they rallied together like Tammy Scorpions, everybody come together, support on the national spirit. So which is also a positive thing on my side. Why I think negatives upper. If you balance the positive and the negatives, no recognize the
Suleiman, I think the gist of all this thing is let me speak in Mandinka. Dame yente jiso kandin defang. Wala mnyem poradolti. Parado ni parado jube hanim bele ngalon ko parado hani nyamato me alon ko yabusa marto la kumoto. It at any of these shops, Japan, anywhere around the globe, it a parado soto la membe cost la $100,000 la. At least not that jawata $85,000 abe cost la wala. That's almost about $5,760,875, somewhere around that. So in Gambia natana $12 million is Joe Paprado. But that is moto ntolongo Joe le sinya fula. Nine come fast so much ma understand no. But ma mira for ye Prado Joe 12 million. Then mira e banda 7 million Joe 3 million no atolong 5 million no yin itolebe watalal Paprado. Because Gambia it dolbe along ko banko yin katama kickback le. Hani lafta company le sambala Gambia Mustafa. Ikabula Gambia di noma ina be denta banko me nebula noma pour que la compagnie register dama. Aketa kari saba kari nani. barisi moje me na bibi ay dum office ko na finde drone ani recito e finde ko company ni a register wo long fond ani brief keso men dun tayo MT jeto company ni se tampo dia Gambia nyantan na attitude le falen na nyantan daji ko le falen na because the problem nim man na woke mol men ni alon ko ndebe silarim fa mol men ni alon ko be hivring be conquering ye place o sikaya dila what are they going to do iba fala ko du sa do ñol men ni alon ko tantan ko sila le ñowutuma wala ko ñoboren tantan ko si bi wol be ka porado le borende sila defana lafta la pour mu fana nga porado bolin so it encourages destruction rather than development malum fo mol kan understand ba amanka ko am attacking people dunia je ngato fo na friend ma tati bari abienem this entire NPP mumo belam the
machinery. What I don't like about Gambian statement making reference to yours is like a camel class according to ila personality or ila background. And te ngamira wo is quite irrelevant. Whether do sano mutantang kosilatinum or whatever he was is not relevant for me. For me, what is relevant is ate akamine contribute towards national development.
National development right now.
What is he doing? Until na taxpayers la kodo ikajo minna Gambia ka benefit munela from him using our taxpayers' money. Yes.
Suleiman, Suleiman, I agree with you, and to some extent, and I'm going to say why. Agree tale foko okay, Gambian student manya na kamol kas ka foko kari munyineti because akitanya manyaka. But ngajele fanang the same people, of course, abe kajakasile. The same people are the same people mayalonko they are abusing. If a system or abuse can, if a positional abuse can. And then, in fact, that to a level that the presidency has been devalued. Devalued to the point ko, hani mo me yalong ko fang, you know, imang fenne achieve ila life. Ite nene mahani siseo. Iwan nene even siseo tala, ya soto ya muta. Iko yako nyimu ila siseo leti yeso.
Ya maleandi.
Ya balundi. Wofongo nyanta kela president oleti. Nde jele ente la problemot.
They need to look at your contribution to national development. Yalong Yang is like mostly Janike, even a councilor. You have to be involved in community work. You have to be involved in youth services. For ye kuke me along community member recognize like this person has contributed something to our benefit or to our advancement. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your race or your background. But ikela do kole jube and ike value based on that work.
No, but Suleiman,
coming back to until that's our main problem and is holding us back because jama ikamul value according to itilla status.
But Gambia
in the First Republic. Namuru First
Republic. Melbe Gambia ron kan saying Suleiman. Wol hani melentano ima sotono. And these are the people running this country. Listen to them, watch them, look at the trajectory. So Gambia falling people running Gambia have no business running this country. They have no business even being special advisor. They have no business being ministers. They have no business even being permanent secretaries. They have no business even running some of these institutions. They have no business there. People have to have the competence and the skills to run this country, not any Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I think in coming for echo lulunga neka di echo because
I was just trying to say that I change this thing okay more jube low down.
No, but it says then they give comments you like Bamba made it, even though he is an unconscious bias statement. But he came back to say he doesn't mean this because Du is his friend. So he can say it because he's his personal friend. While Lee is something Lohamne is affecting people. Yo danganyo buga come into the public or services
while Lima
wa aglinga wa benala.
No, Suleiman had allowed me.
Upon
Suleiman
some.
had allowed me to learn.
So demandire. Let me. No, I'm not faulting you here, Bamba.
Twice,
Okay, all right, you go ahead. Okay.
Suleiman allow no lantano. Only about understand from Fuma Jem Kata Mintole.
Okay.
Duta as an example. Those should have utilized that. You understand it? To make positive changes. You understand it? Nimoluko imulai bolet ye kulungo lese. O kulungo nyanta bate nolale. You understand it? Because I take an example to the First Republic. What time alaji ya sise mol kafla mankara. Amanta karamoto. Hani ABCD amake anana man si classroom okor. But alaji ya use that positively kajara be kurang, kajara beto. So maketa capital. What time on nibe dila GPT si bosola. Mol be kaflo kali ngambatu nimfutana so man si subosa. I saw a trading center, I saw a business centrality for up to today. Where so much boost I get a major city is growing to a city. So imagine like Waldo Hana Yatra Misalve, Itemari Natana Kudolke aside, but at least you made positive changes. Me alokabe more encouraging nola. Kaitan de Gambia de look. This is not a weakness. Kafonte mo tantang kosilante. Womanya na kila weakness. Mo kita tantang kosilante meni alonko. They are now excelling in their own different ways. Tantang kosilalo wallel kake great nyobori nalti. Ngamira nyabe fenke nyolale be kita multimillionaire in Senegal. Ni nyobori nalu fenke senior oma senior anim fonkol. Wol be mu don nalel tuno. But they are all ibe yela do komutalo bit seriousness. Nyalo mo iketa me omente Suleiman. Nyamuta with very very seriousness kafu kari karantala karanalu woliem felle because ninko kari manye londo sota manya na place hotel men ya londo sota ya place hotel well they've already failed us now people have been tested. Dr. Njoguba PhD holder Dr. Njoguba failed the Gambian people but he's now being recycled. The current minister member foreign affairs failed us but they have now been recycled. So kavuko karanalu ntebuko umira de
Bamba mbadu ngay ñinen ka munati nay ka ñim balimul release ndeya
balumol kinye da
hani mambalum ki follow sai maybe
balum kinye neka si balum
I think
mantra balum ki kan sai
in the left lima buga degera rek moy ne xam nga pour rew dem kanam, because most of the time we talk about system change, we talk about irresponsive leadership, we talk about corruption. Why lolu comme linde wahla, you when you pick someone like me ko xamne henna nelabam doyut su agne du reer su ndewoye xam nga du agn nga jox koku mu nekk minister of finance, understand nga o henna nga jox ko place bo xamne dina am opportunity for kickbacks, obviously koku su dore di leka koku du halatat kenen mom leka be ko fali final. So them na be, I think it's hard to say though, but in the there was a time coalition with Bim Kenya is, you know, we had that statement, unfortunate statement by Ibrahim Adiba, Kuane Kubuga Leka, you have to join the UDP at the time. And that was mentioned at Freedom Radio, Yalna Yala Pandiri. So hamga you these are kind of statements you hamne then they send the wrong signal. So mota be pare is like some people were saying they are all hungry people. Coalition leaders see the new hamga pour dan hif. So the new pour leka. And there was a permanent secretary Kwima call at the time munema newal maneko why munema hamga come and take your share of the national cake. Maneko really. So after the Faru, yeah, the Farus Munema no hamga da malifin. Maneko no, these are statements you hamne, they are coming out in the public and in the private. So pour ñew liggéeyal sa réew doesn't mean ne da nga wara ñew share. Yeah.
Yeah, Suleiman, I really agree with that. Is the understanding of also what the state is, because nekana political party or nekana part of a struggle. That is a notion that needs to be thrown away. You were lucky they call you. They were rejecting us. That's the time when they talk about diaspora. I went to Gambia and they were talking about all these diaspora are arrogant. Diaspora for your momly. I was hearing all those things throughout, and even that I was just doing my survey and starting my company and all these things. But you hear those things. But what is important and Silinga was just for madam tuti si kanam rek ne dañ wara bayyi ne ka because Bamba mu ngi wax ne okay jàngakat yi dañ ñu fail te dégg naa ñu bari diñ ko wax man dama dee ne even ñu jàngu sax dañ ñu fail because government be right now ñi ko ron there are people who are not educated honestly when you look at ñoom Dusano ñoom Odisa and I'm repeating that most of these people these are people who sit close to the president. These are people who, whether we like it or not, are part of the decision makers in the country, deciding swing fate. So at this stage, our government is in the mass of people who have no education, half-baked education, and running our country. And this is where the danger we have. Nijanga, yes, I agree to some extent. What we always make mistake, def mistake moyne. Suñ len day amna degree rek, ñu fokk len day is okay pour nga yobbu ko Minister of Agriculture. Instead of saying that day lim janga ak experience am, competence am, ndax may na ko place bobu mu mun fa tok. And day honestly bopam tamit ne suñ ma yobbu agriculture da ne ha man day janga na de amna suma masters, amna everything. Why? Experience how ma dara si agriculture. Lolu lañ am this problem with the intellectuals as well. Ak jàngkat is the intellectual dishonesty bi nekk suñ biir nga xam ne duñ dee honest enough ne place bi soo ma ko joxee mun naa laa fitala lii xaw ma si dara fii loolu la dee nekka fii dañ laa jox dara nga ne non man lii dee xaw ma si dara somebody else knows nga jël kooku problème boobu lañ am noonu ne jàngkat yi dañ ñu feel non man dama dee wax sax ne ñi jàngut ñoo ñu feel. If you look at
the last time be mo nyinin ka kanno kai ko monantina President Barrow e Demba Sabali ke agriculture minister Demba e mune long agriculture akonye ko Demba Sabali kuluta bolong le kono fonya kuluta woleto mo si kulu so fonyi ka nyinin ka senola Demba Sabali la childhood a beke senolta nin kanton kai ko, but is that enough pour ka moke minister then what agriculture ministry moma nyanna any qualification need la je because ndol be mu senela dingol lelti ndol be nga senol leket na childhood nga suna control ka other stuff. But does that mean that alone is enough pour ka ke agriculture minister Demba Sabali mang agriculture study at least maybe for hani ami fa bure leta ami fa bure ay agriculture karanne inana ma samba ambassador ya la Guinea Bissau maybe yota yake minister of agriculture because atole la man sakundam e Demba Sabali samba I don't know malo ba samba la minto because ikai medicine le kara but na medicine kara ate kenola health minister you cannot compare Demba Sabali to Dr. Samate
okay Bamba nyinkul kono ne ajibe karanal nin karambalol bele bije because ne ajibe ni go karambalol ibijela ibakam bar karanal fanam bije ibe dering ifeje
ibe farinje tep
so e katara dering wokan yaje ko nyinka minke amanteleng amanke sila telenden andung ala kolea nanata is going to filter down to for a generation wala molmin ala bata manda kala kare killing o sanji killing problem or pour ka resolve so yaji mobe wo tiñarola malo banku kano jang akumata bakela ne hajibe yemoje abe tiñarola and aka tiñaro minke is pour ka dada is going to take us 10 years or 5 years yelondo sort of wo fanada you stay quiet over it. I don't know, Bamba. I don't get it.
Mustafa, take an example of the Gambia Fisheries Department. Biriko Fisheries Janitaleno. Birim Fire Service Futataje. You know what they found? Dimba bota bathroom molekon. But bathroom on Birin Dimba bota kono. Minister le follow yaje. He waited an hour before raising the alarm. Officer be janitale, everything be janitale. It all not an investigation of Gambia Fire Service. I was going through their report. Gambia Fire Service make the most improbable place for fire to occur. It was electric. That was a lie. That was in police only cook up. That story cook up. Electric failure. But you know what happened? In Chinese only contract will root contracts all minimum be signed with the European Union. For a period of 8 years, for 10 years, and the contract itself is being violated constantly. Na Gambian Navy, I was going through another report. Gambian Navy, vessels. Many alonko. Hani nyeri wole many alonko. Inyanta balula. pour ka grow pour ka ke nyebalde ñun ka e ka jalol men use because ye jalo men fenke la contrat ko ñendo o ñanda kala jala balet jala ba mi alon ko ni ñeri wol dundale si kanano e tambi manam fo ya understand what I mean bari ñun ka jalandingol lelta jalandingol men alon ko e ka ñeri wol ni ñebal be muta ñolale ya be soto kulu ñin kono ani sipa Chinese all wol kata se wol lel balundal ndola Gambia ndolo we have fish crisis now ñawbe dama adabe jawyari Gambia ando Gambia has the biggest in Senegal ndole la ba warta Senegal in terms of sea size Gambia la tasi ata Senegal bara jube ba membe na banko kan sai Gambia be tembo do sai ndolo kata Senegal la kata ñoo ñini je ka samana ñim banu ka ta Senegal yene ya wafi Gambia things are getting more expensive ñew fo buka ma fuare buka do mono Gambia
problem.
It made me think a little bit because this Ikanying Jalol Mendi Chinese all can use. Maybe Walatin Nahani be contract men signed a bilateral men signed with the Norwegian Ministry of Fisheries and Gambia. They're still ignoring it because these are some of the things that will be picked up. These are some of the things that will be addressed because it's illegal fishing in our waters. And looking at some of these issues and challenging of the fish. These are some of the issues for now. Just to move a little bit, Mustafa Janibina. Again, we are going back to the issue of competence. When I look at even the structures, Hani Ibrahim Asila, he has no business in Minister of Works. No business. Ibrahim Asila should have been in Minister of Information because that's where his skills, that's what we know Ibrahim Asila for. He has no business there. You need people with construction, people, engineers, people who understand those things to be there, not him. You go again, you look at Musa Drame. What does Musa Drame knows about fisheries? He has no business there. You cannot have those people sitting there. You talk about Demba Sabali, who is known for being a nurse. The least you can make
that point there, my observation would be as a nationalist or Niela Banco Kano Nikoeko, we want to give you this position. Why can you not say no, no, I can't do this. This is not
me. That is the intellectual dishonesty. I said, well, Bambako, intellectual Karanalian whatever.
I think I can comment quickly, Fufu. What I would agree is the fact that etiquette be more like a lot the professional etiquette in the Gambia. Let's come close to home. These people that our guests stay invite. You've wrote to those people last week.
That's right.
Midweek, you've contacted them.
That's right.
Ember, you've reminded them. Tay, you've sent them, the link. Why I'm on the courtesy to come back to you to say, oh, I'm sorry, X and Y just came up, Dumamuna Grace. I'm got invitation be. I cannot join the panel. Call Ngalente direct. Somebody call them direct, Piguinko. So I'm got etiquette bobu is like Limande. Henna my halasum anti-apartheid desi. I'm got like most of the Gambian then they
where are you in anti-apartheid?
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about that after anyway. So that anti-apartheid movement be understand. So at time when you gave about bourgeoisie, that class living hamga the proletariat, hamga more the working class. So Gambia limagis ganga am 5,000 friends on Facebook ngane celebrating or you defla nganeka a clerk somewhere ngane you are too busy. You are a public servant. Ninyi dan they call, you won't pick your call, you won't reply, then la text, do call, do reply. So hamga is like you make yourself feel like nehenna, you are a special human being.
Yeah.
Te lulu the fata danga abdicate such responsibilities.
Man, could it be not only etiquette, etiquette, but lack of respect as well? Because Madam is very disrespectful too.
It is.
In my office, I have to respect everybody, even people who will come and not nice to you. You try to be nice to them because you just have to etiquette and respect. Because Gambians, they have this entitlement, and I see this entitlement killing us. Linga wala, you have 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 5,000 nit, you la follow, you feel your mom. aganga. So then I choose where to be, who to be, can go live in. And you see them even quarreling a simple thing of likes and all these things. You ask yourself, what is all this? What is all this? What is this all entitlement? We, at the end of the day, we are Gambians. We need to be able to support each other. We need to respect each other. Mansuma Ote, condemn government for corruption, condemn government for incompetence, condemn government for lack of etiquette. Mansuma Bopa, I should rise up to that. I should be also a role model for that. To be able to be accessible to people, to be able to treat people with respect and dignity. When I'm coming to places, I'm late, send a message, I'm late. When you are not attending, say, unfortunately, because we know things happen. Things come up, you cannot, but we always sit down and condemn the public servants, but ourselves, we are fault of that as well. So we have a lot of work to do. Is that dishonesty? You see the other party, not me. So man, Lola de one, we need to really do a soul searching ourselves, plus the state, plus the structures, because ni neka leader, neka ministers, you have all these ministers giving everything. You have all these MPs giving all this comfort.
I'm going to be social consciousness be that they contribute, because I think lack of social consciousness that data need ki amga do de muna not only hamsa bopa why hamsa warugal, because lechi gena bare sunne ni need ki hamulo sa bopa dang de mer feel ne hen amga saga la why hamsa bopa is not just knowing your name ak hamga nyan nyola jur ak fo judo, why knowing sa hamsa bopa dafa umbalu bari moy hamsa warugal hamga ham muna ranye hamga linga wara def ak lo waruta def ni ngay jamalante nit and all those things that those are attributes of nitki hamsa bopa, and lulu dafa come back to social consciousness. Okay, professional consciousness be at immaturity bangfa. Some of them is like, man, I'll just say it the way it is. I'm blonde, and I'm happy I am blonde. So sumala kole nyar nyet yon damala they text, I tell you my peace of mind, big man, yo public servant, and they will get back to nyena they snobbies that fuvula nyo de menu merela. It's like they will never communicate, but I don't care, because you're suma public servant. I will reach out to you, and if you fail to respond, nala expose, because you need to know about it. It's like naming and shaming people now, because
Yes.
that is the only way things would change, because maslahabi dafadoy. We need to start naming and shaming people, because they can be, you cannot correct. Deka doko muna yobu ci maslaha.
Maslaha, yes.
Deka dafa wara am sarta yo hamne fofu nga ko tek nga ron ko. It's unfortunate. Senegalese, there was this video I was watching. This guy, he said so many nasty things about Gambians.
Yes.
So at one point suma xol bi mu ngi bax is like ni ma living. Why ma deglu wat ko mané ki there's an underlying fact ci limo ci Gambian yi. Understand nga naharina be naharina nehuta dega. Why these are things yo xamne ñu ko dunda in the Gambia. Senegalese with everything.
I'm gonna show Lenanchi.
First generation we are having.
If we call ham, call Bokal, call connive or have connections with. Fogna if we masla comninko, I think we need to do away with that, because Lee Donalo Hamne is, I think, he's killing us, to be fair, in all aspects, because I think it's about time for us to come up with naming people who are responsible of whatever is happening whatever in the Gambia, because Lulu pour rectify code, it takes time, it takes a while before we rectify some of these things. And in this issue of like ego, madam, do you know who that name factor, name side of it, that status, we call them the status quo, man Mikey, man Michael, followers are idem
so man himande wa so mane man xam nga may kan dama la ne so demé nga wax ko sahi ci sa bamel.
Yes.
So demé ci sa bamel sa sahi ding len muna wax ne yaay kan.
Yeah.
Because obviously to me you just like any other person, you nothing special. So pour di reelu ak lolu ñaka xam sa bop la. Why coming back to the OIC lifin bi, so gis nañ ne government bi ñu ngi leen tuumal ci lu bari ne xaalis bi njuuj dañ ko njuuj njaaj ba pare contracts li ñu war a jox gars yi dañ ko jox nit ñoo xam ne dinañ ci am seen wàlla defuñ ko niñ ko war a defalee so man li ma ñaax Ibrahima naka Dr. Ceesay as the Minister of Interior, sorry, the Minister of Information, na génna moo Ibrahima Sankare xam nga gars yi leeralal nit ñi ne li nit ñi xam nga ñiiroo ŋaaroo bi nekk on the social media ak li nit ñi di lifin léegi loolu amut lii ak lii moo fa nekk o ñu confirm daawut si waaw lii de am na obvious is unfortunate mbir mi ni ko nit ñi di waxee on the social media noonu la demee waaye
I would add not only having Dr. Ceesay as the information and Sankare, I think the OIC leadership should be out there to answer those questions as well, because they are employed. They have, I'm sure they have public relation officers. They have people who can come out. I think they should come out. Also, they should be part of this team that come out and give people an update and run us through this whole process, what happened. Because Gambians need to know. This government is so poor in terms of giving information. They are so poor in terms of saying the truth. And this is where they have problem with the Gambian people. We struggle with them because they don't say the truth. They don't give us the realities. So I would add the OIC should be part of this discussion where they will come and let us know, because Dr. Ceesay will come there and just run us through numbers. Sankare will come and run us through theories. Let them be there, because there will be questions that need to be answered that Dr. Ceesay may say that, well, I cannot answer this because of that. That's what they do here in Norway. When things happen, if it's especially national thing, the president of Norway will come. If it's a health issue, with the Minister of Health, the Department of Health, the Directorate of Health, he will bring them together in a conference, and the president will stand there chairing the whole process. When you ask questions, he said, you answer. It's your who will answer, you will answer it. I think they should learn that.
Man, lima munuta understand, to be quite honest, moy ki Ahmad Jah nakala ko government bi di joxe a private businessman nga dem di procure vehicles on behalf of the government.
So xoolee affaire si tam
ñu ne government amul xaalis loolu lañ wax.
So xoolee affaire si soo ko xoolee Mohamed Jah, you know, it's got QTV, Q Radio, Q Power, Q Cell, Q Spares, Q whatever. It's got all the Qs in the Gambia. I don't know how can that happen? How?
But Samba of Yaya Jammeh. That's how I'm seeing it. Like the Amadou Samba of Yaya Jammeh generation.
So he's a businessman. You munna ko amal bopam su man lima munuta understand moy ne luta government bi diko jox the responsibility pour mu procure vehicles on their behalf when am the public procurement office.
Guy, they don't have money. Well, what I heard from the
so Halis Binjo Adama ki hama Mohamed Jah fan la Halis bobu joge. Couldn't they use that money to get this thing from the procurement office?
Suleiman, if I understood it well, maybe we need to check again. That's why Fadera would have been here very good, because from what I had, he used his own money because government don't have money to buy these things. That is what I had. I may have it wrong, but we have
why the other information coming from the government side, the vehicles were pre-financed. When you say something is pre-financed, that means already Halis bank for one.
Well, that is what pre-finance means, but these people, their understanding of language and communication.
Wow, so when is pre-financed, Halis be lolu ban sense la make?
Maybe pre-financed by Jah. That's why I tell you, these people need to come out and
OICB, excuse me, OICB then am budget. Yes. OICB doing host send conference the hosting country you run ko fund ko. No, OICB is an organization with its own budget, so then they fund send own projects. So Barrow, as the chairman of the OIC, he has to oversee most of the programs of the OIC. So he is the chairman Mohammed dafa authorized or all those things. So am na benefits yoo xam ne yu bari Gambia war nañ ko njëriñoo under his chairmanship. So fekkee ne mbir mi yaa ngi doxee nu war a doxee.
Your thoughts on this? From Gambians, see OIC, do we have any getting benefit?
Well, to be like I said initially, engineering young fa why so whole the disadvantages new overshadow engineering ifaneka. Understand? Because obviously, duñ muna talk fine Gambians benefit. That would be ingenious on for us to say. Because limbon bon today 100 people sa jaay gender during this period. Defar nañ yoon bi even though it is not complete yoon yang fa defar nañ lights even though cover the whole area why am na certain areas yoo xam ne am nañ light which is good that they eliminate that place at night. Okay, gis nañ other like the local government local governments heads like the mayor mid nañ some of their colleagues xam nga establishing some bilateral relationships. Those are things you have send community be accent council did not benefit in the future through those relationships. So ñaarel bi moy henna structures in build or moto yi faneka. Let's look at the security service, especially the police, for instance. Gis nañ gaangi amé motorbikes US, gis nañ ñu leen jox moto am nañ certain equipments yo xamne ak xam nga new things yo xamne dafa help pour send services. So these are benefits yoo xam ne njëriñee nañ ko. So moto yi fa nekka su fekkee ne government be leen jënda moto yooyu su fekkee ne comme day highlight na ne am nañ moto yu bari suñ ko niidutee mun nañoo jaay moto yooyu o mun nañ ko rent somewhere boo xam ne government bi dina kind of generate funds from it.
Man, I think because I was just checking now, the OIC, according to the CEO or Yankuba, they have raised $300 million US. The secretariat. So, if I understand, if they raise $300 million, that is different from probably the budget, or is it together? That's a good question that we need to clarify. Is it that is in addition to what they already have? So the problem these people have, the reason why I said Gambians don't benefit from this, Suleiman, we are hearing also that government took some loans as well with Saudi. Now, what benefit does that have? Because if you calculate, you add them together. Suleiman, the amount of money these people have borrowed from the Saudi that we need to pay back, it's even more than what you are talking about now as benefit. This is where I have a problem.
Halis be come like ñoom su fekkoon ne mismanaging ko woon. Plan nañ ko properly. Henna duñ daan need even to borrow. Understand nga? Why be halis be man am so liñ borrow sax ak halis bin raise yëpp soo ko seetloo if they come out and they are honest with us dinañ gis ne spending half of halis boobu.
But that is the thing. They haven't done that.
Where did that money go?
In long holes. See pockets.
So we cannot continue like this. We can't continue like this. We need to do something. What do you think we can do about this?
No, the thing li ñoo def mooy xam nga Gambia problème bi yow man suma jógee di wax léegi ñu ne waaw Suleiman dafa ut liggéey o dafa bugg a job o henna is Sandy Barrow. Understand nga? Because Bamba mu ngi benefit, so Bamba suma friend la, yow soy wax dama la di ñëw di la ne no li nga wax si Bamba amut, Bamba is a good man, Bamba daf dee vape léegi, xama na daf dee pon ak yooyu moo tax may vape. Xam nga yooyu daf dee so sorry Bamba suma wala am nga mo den
man dama de wax ne moto yi sax in fact I was saying ne moto yi what they could do ñu ngi complain ne crime bangi graw police amuñ moto that could have been distributed among the police as well.
Absolutely.
Because this vehicle they really run fast despite the luxurious look, but they could give it to the police so that they go and fight crime because nit ñi dañ la wone ma dem report the police duñ ma de dañ la wone amuñ moto yaay fay tax let's give it to the police. So if you say Let them give it to, also you have the fire services as well. Some of them, they need this thing. They at the hospital as well, where you have, even you can have this, not really ambulance, but these cars have lots of other medical things in it, so that they can run fast in areas where there's accident and things. So these cars can also go and benefit other sectors. But what I'm getting worried at is just going to be like what they did with the MPs. These vehicles will just go and be divided among themselves, shared among themselves. That's what worried me. But I hope that they will have the dignity to give these vehicles to the police, because the crime is high.
I think another thing lo hamne mung ñu affect in holding our leaders accountable mooy ne dañ dee wax ne ñi dañoo wax rek bàyyi leen su yàggee dinañ noppi.
Yeah.
And which is very symbolic of Gambians. So dañ dee wax henna 1 day, 2 days, 3 days we forget about it. So
Suleiman, the reason why that happens, problems in your body. Suma wax bi bale jogna. Suma wax bi bale jogna. Even Gambians are confused what to hold on to, what to do. This is where we have a big problem, because problems are so many. I mean,
media house bari nañ in the Gambia, platforms bari nañ. So we can, let's say Sky Power nañ, okay, for the rest of the month or year, we are going to pursue only OIC and its program. Okay, Kerfatu Dafane, for the rest of the year or alongside other programs, we are going to concentrate on corruption at the ports. Digital Home FM, with alongside other programs, we are going to look at the crime rate, the rise of crime in the Gambia. So that is media houses see, buneka so specialized on one thing, the colifin, you give them a balance. Dañu ñëw fi ñu déglu ni
am nga loolu problème bu ñu am ci loolu mooy xam nga man ak yow ak Ndey ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne Sky Power yi demee noonu civic education programme bi maybe ñun they will not be able to silence us because they don't give us the ñun duñ dee am advert. We don't need, I would not say we don't need, but they're not going to sponsor any of our program. With or without sponsoring us, we would still be here. We'll still maintain this civic education. We'll be here to educate people. Why ñeneen you know, ñoom dañu am cap. They've got somewhere to stop, you know, because if not, you know, they've got some guidelines in a hamne, you know, if you cross that, you know, they'll hunt you. And then
recently Gambia fogna dafa lose its position on the living naka freedom of speech rating bi. So dafa dem down, dafa danu. So mu ngi wone ne government bi, even though hamga is democratic, why in other ways ñu ngi muzzle freedom of speech, and they want to uphold hamga pour change position bobu hamga, so that ñu rank leen as, you know, one of those countries ñoo xam ne hamga ñu ngi.
If you look at it, media living bi xaalis bobu niñ ko sédale comme que last week niñ ko waxe, you know, there's some sort of way of, oh, this one is, you know, mota so hole affairs itam, if you have it thoroughly,
and they have
another thing is, if you look at people like Sankare, they choose where to go to, which platform or medium to go to. Even Mfaliza, who knows? No, don't go there. This guy is that. You never know. So much.
They say that.
Choose where to go to. You know, be careful. Mr. X is going, because I flag it up. You know, if you go there, they will drag you into something Lohamne is going to make you uncomfortable and all that. So this cherry picking and all that is something like a hamne. It's a strategy Bohamne. They're using it to, you know, to control the way they want it.
Then could they have to control a damage control strategy for them? Because hamne currently is like there are certain places when for appear those people will force the truth out of their throats. So they would rather go to places where they would massage their ego. So Lolu, I think Mota Mane, the former president of Press Union, Binyom Senbo Banyo corrupt. Understand? Because corruption, you hear about corruption, people look at it in the monetary aspect of taking things from him. Why corruption entails so many things. Hamga, nga gis dega diko napal It is. Xam nga nepotism la, corruption la, nga gis yahute comme like li ñu wax nga ne yow doo ko wax ne comme guy I don't hear anything, I don't see anything, I don't say anything because affected la.
But Suleiman, I think we go back again. Lingawane is taking us back to competence again. Because the lack of competence, MOC just government, but we're even talking about media houses. Because when you have the required competence and the etiquettes, there is so many things you would avoid to get yourself entangled. I understand people will talk about media, they need to survive, they need the money, but at the end of the day, everybody in this sector need money. The public servants offer them in 2,500 or 5,000. I'm finished. So kickbacks here, all this corruption, have a way of justifying it. So if you look at the OIC also, its failures, the main failure has been also competence, putting the right people in the right place so that they know what they're doing and they're willing to take these things to another level. Something like even an OIC summit, that is the pride of a nation. And people who were sitting there couldn't even see that this is a pride of our nation. We will do everything to make sure this is something that everybody will talk about. This is a success. This is going to be all over. Man, I'm not hearing Gambia. I mean, I have not been hearing on our news. I've not been seeing it in the news that Gambia is hosting the OIC and all these things. And this is something that should have been all about. In fact, Gambia hosted this OIC at a time.
1 month before. This should have been everywhere 1 month before.
And even, Mustafa, at a time when there is so much crisis in the Arab region, so many crises in this world that Muslims are involved and engaged in, so many issues that affect Muslims. This was the best opportunity Gambia had in putting our name out there. Gambia had fought with the Rodinga and everything. You would have told
culturally, traditionally, entertainment, education.
I think the only aspect for Moine, I think for the this this country, is it Oringas people?
Rodingas.
Yeah, I think they've increased the funding for it because Gambia is taking them to court. So increasing the funding, I've seen that.
With the Banjul bill,
the disappointing bit more in Gisnane, even though they were claiming there should be an immediate and unconditional ceasefire observed by Israel over Palestine. Gisnane, Minister of Foreign Affairs, he came out quickly saying Gambia, they're not going to cut ties with Israel, which I found to be very hypocritical.
Not only that, that's a diplomatic blunder. That's a blunder because here you come on
OIC. You cannot blow hot and cold at the same time. Man, suma gisene yo hamga yange def lo xamne anduma ci dina la ko wax.
And
su fekkene living nga su jare ma ko tay sa I will. Why ban benefit la Gambia di benefit from Israel?
Nothing.
Lan la Israel di defal Gambians.
It was wrong. That was a very wrong move. When I saw that, I said, you just came out from OIC, you just keep quiet because you host it. And then Gambia took the CEO, or is it the chairman?
The chairman, my chairman.
Gambia took it as well. Then you go as a chairman, agree together in a conference, you come out and give a different thing. You should have just kept quiet.
Absolutely.
The best way to keep quiet. This is what I always say, that we have serious problems in our institutions, in our structures, in our ministers, in our ministries, in our departments. It's a serious competence problem because people think that they can just say whatever they want and that's it. And then they go away because there's no accountability. Barrow doesn't even know what you have said is blunder or not. He doesn't get it. He doesn't care, in fact, because Mandama de Wane, Barrow 7 years.
I think he knows why. I think the mistake because the same mistake bo xamne more led to the downfall of Jammeh. Xam nga Jammeh dafa demone be comfortable ne he doesn't care about li nit ñi di wax.
Yeah.
Demone na be feel ne he owns the Gambia, is his personal property and
they tell you in social media
he can do things. So Barrow is slowly working towards that avenue. Xam nga mu ngi confi suñu waxee dañoo ne bul faale ñi xam nga daf dee wax ne waaw ñi waxkat lañ rek. So xam nga and from Sidi Njie waxam bi soo ko dégloo he is kind of repeating the same.
Did you guys
am na ñoo xam ne ñooñu seen department is just to talk am na ñoo xam ne seen
I don't know whether you people saw the diplomatic blunder that Sidi Njai was taking off. I don't know whether that's accurate. I think it's a correct picture. Sidi Njai was seeing off the president of Senegal, a deputy speaker. And I'm like, what happened? How can that be? A deputy speaker? Not even a speaker. Even the speaker, there's a problem there.
Just like he's the Minister of Higher Education. I think he received one of the head of states. My Munko received. So when I saw it, I was a bit surprised. Man, wow.
Exactly.
When you are Gambia, everything goes or anything goes.
That's the standard has been so low. And then we have seasoned diplomats that I saw some of them even had to come out and welcome. Like I saw, what's his name, Mr. Ndur, coming to pick some of the head of states. And I said, they have all these people there. These were people who have walked through Jawara, a seasoned diplomat who they could have utilized so efficiently in terms of coordinating this whole thing. No, Gambia is like, I don't know, we are now going, we have gone almost 50 years back in everything we do.
Right.
Don't worry. A country. I think I remember I wrote this thing. You cannot run a country like a corner shop, or you can't rehearse. I'm running a state. Even though I appreciate Nane as a president, you can learn on the job.
Yeah.
Why? Ninko dohale dafa daw yaram. Te soko wahe dañ la de dekalo fi nga dekut. Why man mostly lima de warek as far as man hamna ne my consent is clear te wahuma ko for anything, nothing personal or not expecting anything in return. So damay wax ngir yalla tax ak buga suma rew des na ci nit ñi nak niñ ko interpréter ak niñ ko processer. Why comme liñ de wax home prophets are always insulted. Why then they ñëw to a certain time when maybe you are no more, they ñëw realize ne waaw kii lim doon wax lii ak lii fii la doon jëm. Sénégal soo seetloo Sénégal ñëw overtake ñu. It's not because of their leadership, it's because of the citizenry. Seen doomi réew mi dañ dee demand xam nga success, dañ dee demand xam nga productivity. ñooñu you don't shortchange them like in the Gambia, because da nga gis ne bi boy si toge all of them ñepp ne ñu ngi tok si nen, and you can see that in their social media they are talking ne xamne ne these are people ñu xamne they have come, they are determined to effect the changes, they have come to liberate their country. Biñu Macky Sall diplomatic passport am bi foog naa dañ ko revoke. Xam nga this fishing license in joxoon these Chinese and all the other people dañ leen revoke. So da nga gis ne loolu is giving Senegal seen resources yi an opportunity to breathe. Gambia seet nañ la like Gunjur ñaata yoon la nit ñi di dem di demonstrate di wax, and gis nañ ne xam nga environment bi ñu ngi ko affect, léegi bi fa nekk yëpp dafa deretal.
I'll share this story with you, Stefan. I went to the Chinese
affect not only legi, why generations to come. Like Hiroshima, being for the fact that bomb, bete munge affect ñoo xamne biñ ko bomé xalaatu ñooñu sa dinañ leen concept be di leen wasin
research about the water. There's something that NAWEC is not cleaning the water, not just Guju, generally the water. And so when I read that, I was thinking that these people dying and all kinds of things could be even related to all this.
So like NAWEC, you nge hol ne wa ñoom, can you imagine NAWEC si OIC bi current bangi dem on and off. Dafa am comme like line lopitaan bi ak airport bi boobu moo du dog even time jamme. So State House foofu lañ ko connect ak certain VIPs ak ñoom yi NAWEC seen boppa ñu ngi duñ fay cash power because you official nga at NAWEC, but you and me have to top up suñ cash power every day. Yo ñu ngi laa fay sa salary ba pare yaa ngi use suñ national resources for free of charge ba pare dañ dee charge nit ñi dañ leen dee bills yoo xam ne yow you know you've not even consumed that, especially ndox ñu lay seen ay 5,000 7,000 ndox loolu ñaata gallon nga use te pompe yi on and off lañ dee ñëw, courant yi on and off lañ dee ñëw. So yëpp is like yow soo ko waxee ñu feel ne waa xen na kii bugut naani o xen
And
na
there was a budget there was a budget in the OIC as well for water and electricity. Was also budgeted there. So we don't even know what happened. But Suleiman, I just want to go quickly when you talk about citizenry. Yes, I do agree. Yes, citizenry is important. Citizens is important to be active to address this thing. But let's go back and reflect again. Nay, for more than 50 years, our citizens have been suppressed, put under the radar of poverty, abject poverty. In fact, now we are at the stage of hunger. And sometimes the feeling is that this is deliberate to keep our people busy looking for survival. I need to put food on the table. I need to eat. That person to sit down and even think and reflect, the person doesn't have that energy, that room to think, that room to do things. And this is where also we have a big problem. That's why the fight to get the right government, the fight to
I think that would take me back to anti-apartheid time.
Yeah.
Time anti-apartheid. We were not South Africans. Why gis nañ ne South Africa ni mu doon demee through ñoom Yero Sanyang ñoom Jewru Krubali xam nga ñëw neen
I never knew you were there. I was there.
So ñun at Nasir ñu organize this drama group, and then there was a play called Steve Biko.
Steve,
so Alassane Camara ñoom Sidi Sane ñoo nekkoon main characters yi. So after being stage boobu Basse ak Banjul dañ arrêté suñ géographie suñ civic teacher bi Sierra Leonean la ñu deport ko ñoom Alassane ak ñoom Sidi gaay arrêté leen yóbbu leen time boobu special branch moo fa nekk ñu dem di investigate waaw ndax kii daf ñoo motivate am nga daf ñoo instigate ak yooyu because the message was so powerful. Understand nga nit ñi suñ ko gisee xam nga dañ dee kind of resonate with it. So Amite amoon na very good drama group. These are all mediums yoo xam ne you can use them to communicate. Xam nga South Africa nga wane like oppression bi. South Africa, they went through the wars. In Gambia, we would not experience what South Africans experience. Why Taoudne, they would just sit down and let it happen forever.
No, but Suleiman, there was a difference. The difference was that there was civic engagement. That was the difference with South Africa. Even when you talk about the anti-apartheid, I remember we used to work with CITE, the University of Dakar. Time even you have Nini, Nyom Bachili, Nyom, even Wada. They were lecturing. We used to go to CITE. There was this drama as organizers that used to come to Senegal, Gambia. We play together. We go to CITE. When I was even traveling, I was spending all my time at CITE there with Jawri Kurbari, Momla and Alonso Dakar when I was going for study. So I think it's that engagement that is lacking in the country.
So lolu mung fa legi we are doing that. So remember the struggle time living bi jamme.
Yeah.
Suñu waxe ñom ñoo robis. They call us names, they don't listen to us. Legi is the same thing happening. No hamne they are closer to Barrow, they are benefiting directly from him at his leadership. Ñooñu are the same people that are robbing us now. So waxe ñu naan la waaw yow xam nga nekkuloo fi lekkuloo si ndab bi naka ngay jëlee suuf di ci sànni. So xam nga mentality boobu yow yaa ngi lekka man waruma wax even though li nga lekka xam nga ne du halal. Man waruma wax ne li nga lekka du halal. So that is the mentality. So da nga gis ne
and what they are seeing even Suleiman doguma la de li nekk de wax léegi dañ de wax ne ku ko meegut si nguuru Barrow doo ko meegati. So now it's like zero. That is what
lolu initially mané gaay dañ wéné ñi dé came hungry dañ wax xiif so dañoo ñëw pour lekka waaye ñun nag what we are doing we need to continue doing that irrespective of why eventually nit ñi they would see these things for themselves why dëkka leadership bi rek mënut a change dëkka bi the citizens
have responsibility as well.
Dañ am seen own responsibilities. Understand? Let's say UDP with all whatever you accuse UDP is the only party bo hamne dañ am that loyalty bo hamne you cannot disintegrate it. UDP send militancy if they send members or supporters if they hadn't had that kind of maximum loyalty to the party, UDP would have been dead by now. Subject through the hardest suppression rey nañ seen leaders yi tëj nañ seen leaders yi tocco nañ leen waaye ba tey they are still loyal and they are standing tall. So Lulu, that kind of citizenry lañ need in the Gambia.
In the Gambia. As Gambia, yes. That's what we need as
Gambians. Yep, are like some of the UDP members. You might just illustrate legi. Nikon hamga this irresponsible governance, failures and corruption. Yep, do settle time registration of voters. They took it upon themselves to go out, even though some of us disagreed with their methodology. Why they went to ensure it is only the right people who are registered to vote.
Yeah.
Lulu is the maximum level of patriotism. Understand? So
why Saul,
yeah.
Patriotism, how do we inculcate this in Gambians? Lee, is very important. Lee.
I think here because this behavior psychologists something if you repeat it over and over, it becomes part of the person. That could kind of nurture.
Yeah.
So we need to be singing this most of the time. Example is like there was this politician in America. I think he had 3% of winning the election. Why being a phrase regular use for his campaign in the media and everything. And then the mom, he is the one to bring about change. Vote X to bring about change. Jehna. So for them yange gis lolu yanko dega. So tanabe everybody feel nene pour change be we have to vote this person. And non la wine. So these are things that we need to talk about. UDP mungalena waluneka. Why when it comes to defending their party, they are willing to sacrifice their lives to make sure a same leader at party be survives.
When it comes to Gambia, we want to see all Gambians to see I want to die for you want to die for your country.
Yeah, and the way because neck in the hair, but how can you die for your country? Moisogi say a corrupt official, you name and same the person.
Exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. So
also, one key important thing, Suleiman, here also, we have to start linking our personal and the political and the governance, because Gambians they delink these two. Public sector is dealing then is a public thing so we have to be able to make citizens to also to understand and link the two. Public space bobu nonu lum fa jël moy affect sa private space bi sa personal yow fi nga nekk lolo ko affect because so sàccee xaalis bi in education sa doom yi dañoo ñëw duñ mëna dem school yow am lo xaalis pour ñu dem school so demee sàccee agriculture duñ mëna produce food bu enough boo xam ne food bi dina cheap lekk bi dina cheap yow sa bopp li nga am yëpp doo ko mëna jëna so that delinking man I always see that delinking.
I think I watch a movie similar to that. Ndawsi is the Minister of Education. So doomam bu jigéen bi mu ne kooku du dem si public school bi kooku dafa dem to a private school doomam bi mu ne no you are the Minister of Education lu tax bugguloo man ma dem to public schools nga bugga ma dem to private schools so fekkee ne you are doing your job as the Minister of Education yow waruloo stop man sa doom may dem to public schools mu ne that means you are not doing your responsibility well. So
it happened here in Norway.
So man duma dem to a private school. I'm going to the public school like every other child. Yeah, so how can you send mentality be why you so such a hali sadomi dunde because they got the money, they can send their kids to private school. So for them lolo is not important. Why the other person or hamne amud that access nekone so gise sol this such as same halis moy amga chairman Brikama area council so jele halis bi mu nga deprive yo pour nga dem school mu nga deprive Aminata pour mu am good health care mu nga deprive Fatumata pour travel from Brikama to Banjul mu nga hamga deprive police officer bi pour am good salary because police officer bi amud good salary dina sacha, dina fen, dina racing case, dina def. So these things gradually.
Yeah, if we can do that, if you can put that in a Gambian to see the Gambia that
when it sings, then obviously citizens sometimes like Lima, consciousness is It's a gradual process.
Yeah.
Because dañ dee foog ne en soo jàngee rek they say like tey maa ngi doon wax someone mu ne ma kii is very intelligent dafa smart ma ne ko waaye xam nga nit ku intelligent ku smart du acte or du waxee nii.
Yeah.
Because smartness is not just them ngay pass exams. Am na ñoo xam ne they can pass exams su ñooy nelaw sax waaye when it comes to solve little issues mënuñoo xalaat logically ba di arrive at
and even the criminals they smart Suleiman talk about the criminals sa government dañ la wane kii dafa smart.
Exactly.
Because suñu prince bi dafa yóbbu doomam bi private school. It becomes an uproar in the country. Why? For the first time in the history of Norway, New York sent Domi in a private sector. Can deny that. But they were like, no, it's not right because they forwarded them to public school because that is owned by the state and the government, and he has to show leadership in that as the coming king. And they had to move the child back to the public school. So these are some of these things that these values, Aglinga, I agree, we need to nurture this. We need to continue the discussion and linking this. We have to close that gap that people link, they don't see. Because Sojile had the government, Ngurgi, Yodanga Teki. 1 minute, Nekanga minister. The next minute, Sampanga Kermine, hey, Kiso Nim Teke. Lim Sampa Lim Lim. We have to be able to make people to understand them. It's just wrong. Linyo Jelfi, Moita Yo, Munulo, even them yobusa dormi to normal school because books say all these things. So February munuñ la fetch because Lina so demay l'hôpital do am garab do am because ki ñile ko jël sa ko. We have to continue that discussion. And I agree with you. It's a slow process, but I think that conversation because we have a generation. Yeah, they repeat and I repeat it. Yeah, Miss generation. These kids that grow 22 years of young people who grow up, all they know is abuse because that is what the system was. All they know, abuse, destruction, and these people are with us. So we have to continue the conversation to rehabilitate because these people need rehabilitation to understand that they can do government because these are people who work in the public servant. You nekk si public servant, you nekk si civil society, you wara run deka bi dimbele you nekk all over the place. So for me, we just have to continue the discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Nay. Jerejef, thanks. Omar Lum, thank you. Sai, thank you for the comments and contribution. Yeah, but out of time now. We might draw the curtain here for this edition of
the comments.
Oh, there's a lot of comments going on here. I'm not sure why.
I'm going to Suleiman check. I'll say, Danga click because there's 2 buttons. The fan boom there collect. Wow, man,
and then Sajo is saying Mohammed Jah blah blah. Well, let me have a look here. And then he says somebody is your sister here, Saul. You know, he says, I am proud of you, lovely brother Jeng Salah. Sabeh Jeng. I don't know if he's your sister.
Sajo is saying that Mohammed Jah bought the cars and the government have to pay. Yeah, Mohammed Jah purchased those vehicles and invoices the government with each vehicle costing $12 million. So the government will have to pay for all of them.
Yeah, that was
it's the same.
Right. Your final thoughts, Saul?
Well, I think my final thought moy manda madenya domi rewmi because most of the time that they don't know is the leaders. Why ñun ñoy leaders yi? Understand nga ñun ñoy government bi ñun ñoy the public because leaders they would not be there without us. And public be xam nga institutions yi duñ mëna strong unless ñun citizens yi ñu strongal institutions yi. For instance, man suma waré dem immigration ma bëgga passport luta may wara jox ndey 5,000 pour ma am suma passport same day be pare man ma wara ñew tok fi ne xam nga immigration bi is corrupt or immigration bi is this or some institutions is this. I am the one fueling that corruption. Suma ñewé ndey ne man jox ma li ma génné la ko tay dama ko expose. Come to the social media ne dem na immigration tay ndey li ak li la ma wax ma jël sa badge number and everything pare na si ñu dem court ne li nga ma wax and I can prove ne li nga ma wax so ko defee benn ñaar ñetti yoon dinañ ragal suñ la gisee dañu ne hey déedéet lifin so they would serve you quicker nga dem su ma ñëwee sax nga bugga ma serve ma ne no there are people queue la there is a queue, let's follow the system. Suma jël 2 days sa naa jël those 2 days make sure ne ñi ma jiitu saaf na ñooñu first waaye yow da ngaa ñëw you want to be served first xam nga nga ñëw you know people you have to do this or do that so ba pare nga bugg a toog ne leen no xam nga ñii dañ korom ñii lañ ni so da nga war a gëstuwaat sa boppa because man gëm naa ne nit ki li ngay uyo da nga ko war a nuru if we are sitting here to say xam nga suñ leaders yi are this and that ñun we should demonstrate to our leaders ne ñun we are the opposite of who you are and we want you to be like us that way xam nga things did not change. I know it's going to take time. Why before in politics, Lindewa one day could do a lot. 2026 is just around the corner. So need pour educate watana suñ nit remind len send vote be is the only thing they've got. And without them changes being buga du musa am in the Gambia. Prepare hamga Gambia then feel ne development is only the building of road and bridges.
No,
understand
I think is the government you know make them feel or think that way, ne? You know, development is building the roads, nice houses.
You also ame tali nga am kurang henna dafay kamaj tay mu kamaj the next minute ndox su ñëwé dafa xonxa o henna da nga tok be 2 o'clock guddi waaye yow soo feebaree soo demee si lopitaan bi doo mun a am docteur bu laa gis soo gisee docteur sa amut garab biñ laa jox loolu ban development la sa doom su demee school man I remember suma primary 2 primary 3 I could read Lady Bird books yooyu seen stories yi so demoo library nga jël ko dañ la dee ne jox ma book bi wax ma story bi lan moo nekk si book bi you have to recount so read to loolu first day bi I was embarrassed because dama dem di xooli fin ñu ne may meleste ko xaw ma naka laa leen so the following time ma ne no lii du ma dalaat and by primary 3 I could read and I could write so loolu develop xam nga nit ki is like you have to start doing these things in foog ñu wax leen ne lii moo fa nekka Barrow is a person I've got nothing against his person but look at his leadership Barrow bim toogee si Gambia lan ak lan la change lan moo wecceeku nga compare ko ak Jammeh bim fa nekkoon ak Jawara bim fa nekkoon ok ñu ngeen wax ne waaw xam nga moom duy ree nit duy tëj xam nga you can give that to him fair enough waaye mu ngi def yoo xam ne moo gën a garaaw rey nit ak tëj nit public funds soo ko mismanage like OIC bi yu ñoo wax those millions yoo xam ne dem nañ down the drain kenn mënut a account yooyu million yooyu suñ ko usoon ñu build xam nga develop tourist industry bi ñaata nit ñooy ñëw Gambia tourist yi suñ fa ñëwee ñaata doomi Gambia ñooy benefit si tourist market bi ñaata doomi Gambia ñooy am friends ñoo xam ne dañ leen a sponsor tourist yooyu suñ ñëwee they are bringing their foreign currencies loolu is going to help our economy mu grow they are going to spend their monies in the country waaye fi mu nekk nii dañoo dem Senegal they will go to Cape Verde because those are the places yoo xam ne ñoo leen attract you say Gambia what is there to watch what would I gain going to Gambia as a tourist xanaa suñ gijilo boys yi that's all and lolu they tell you here oh are you from the Gambia oh the boys it's a sex destination
it's worse here
sometimes it's disgraceful hamga so sen girls yi xale yu ndaw no mu ngi ni ori bamba
waxuloo sol fu den ko yey
no because xam nga li ma mooy ne you go to the Gambia léegi ñu xool xale yi ñun suñ time soo amee jànga soo ko seenee fale dangay lox you be trembling danga ko binda letter keneen moo ko jox o sa friend mooy dem waxa moom why you cannot come directly and speak to that girl léegi danga gis jànga yi dañoo dem ñu ngi smoke ñu ngi naan ak ñoo dressé nga imagine loolu in our homes time bi suñ payi dofuloo jinne jàppula yow góor bi sax ñu gis yaa ngi taxawa jigéen
man suma pa suñ taxawoon si perong bi veranda bi nga romba ni sax nga ne ma xaay mu ne kaay foo ko xamee
so xam nga yooyu tax na soo waxee ñu ne waaw civilisation la lii ak lii xam nga comme aada ak cosaan am na aada yoo xam ne baax nañ islam bi mu ñëwee aada yoo xam ne baax nañ incorporate nañ ko aada yoo xam ne baaxuñ daxa nañ leen so développement tamit noonu la doomi aadama bi danga ko war a because suñu youth si when it comes to drugs ñu ma seen on some pictures very disturbing xale yi di tuux di naan di génn seen yaram yëpp a ngi yaaxu so nga imagine génération boobu yëpp su yaaxoo ñooñu seen time su jotee ñan ñoo war a ilif nguur mi o réew mi because nekkaatuñ fa so loolu would be a big blow to the Gambia fi mu nekk ne ñun we are not looking into that in the future ñi generation bi ñu ngi seetaan mu ngi yaaxu
doguma sawa I went to Gambia not long ago waaye lu ma gis the system bi nu ma ko dee SII lañ ko dee staff them intoxicate them because the way things are going you have to staff them when you staff them you intoxicate them maanaam tell them this is if you do this religiously it's not right you're going to hell or intoxicate them using the alcohol or cuss or drugs or so now the youths would be confused they don't even know if you go to Gambia, Sol, honestly, you would think that where are the youths? There's nobody to think for us because all these people are the way they conversation. You try and have a little conversation with them, talk to them, and see their mindset, their perception, the way they think is so narrow-minded. It's like somebody on drugs. You're not able to think independently to see me. Listen, this is what I'm going to do for my country or to bring development. Sol, you will be disappointed, And then these people, they like that because they know the people who are supposed to go and demonstrate against them. Those people are busy, up to something else, not about the country, So you'll be sad, honestly, if you.
So lolu nak mota war nañu waxtaan ak citizens yi waajur yeeg xale yi because yow bul support Suleiman just because Suleiman tey dina la jox 1,000 or dina la jox saaku maalo or dina la jox gallon ni diwlin 1,000 boobu du la saa for even 2 weeks or 1 week or 1 day saaku maalo boobu 3 days jeex na waaye yow sa next 5 years naka nga ko dundee how are you going to survive fi mu nekk ne ñu ngi wax ne like nawet bi taw bi duy bari ma ne leen soo ko seetloo in the Gambia ñu ngi lakkañ àlla yi ñu ngi dog garab yi kenn jiwut kenn replace wut benn garab yëpp su lifine suuf si dafa woo naka la ndox di ñëwee I've seen Ahmad Manjang in Gunjur am nga he's engaged in planting trees so danga gis in the next 5-6 years loolu Gunjur dafa become a very green environment ndox bi dafa bari Gunjur dafa taw Sanyang du taw because amul ndox amul garab gis na kenn in Burkina Faso I think he took about 30 years he grew about 4,000 baobab trees so yooyu dafa am njëriñ foofu next generation yu ñëw why aren't we doing that Jammeh ak nu mun di mel yëpp dañ ne bu ma reference Jammeh waaye dinaa ko def bi Samba di ci Demba Jammeh bi mu fa nekkoon dafa dem ut variety of seeds mu indi mu ngi so maalo yaa mu ngi indi variety of maalo yoo xam ne ay 3 months ay lifin you grow indi na ay rab all those things fan lañ nekka xam nga these are things yoo xam ne leadership bi duñ dee wax daf dee inspire leaders dañu war a inspire seen nit ñi motivate leen pour ñu mun a leen laa yóbbu waaye citizens yi tamit war nañoo góorgóorlu comme li mu wax you eat what you grow and grow what you eat te loolu bi mu fa nekkee ministre seeg ñëpp a dee béyantu waaye fi mu nekk kanay béyantu kenn seen biir yaa ngi mel ni ñu biir 24 months mënuñoo sega suñ taxawee tuuti sax mun ñu lifin so kooku naka la moo engage into farming.
Thanks. So your thoughts?
Suleiman, I just agree with you, but for me I always flip it the other way around, and Young leaders should inspire and motivate their citizens and protect. I will add that, and protect their citizens as well. Man fofu la de ñëwé né suñ society bi dafa reach stage bo xamné leaders have to be held accountable. Yes, citizens, yes, they have a stake. But lima de wala citizens you already killed, damaged, destroyed. Those citizens, they need good leaders to motivate, inspire them, and protect them to be functioning citizens. Because man lola de gisne suñ system be dafa destroy suñ citizen be. They then destroy, they then mim, and they cannot function. So you need leaders to be able to inspire and motivate them. And Lingis right now, Barrow government and it's all over with the OIC and everything. You cannot spend on liabilities because it's more of an infrastructure-based government. And when you don't have funds, you don't spend on liabilities. When you run companies and businesses, it's very clear. You don't have much funds, you don't bring liabilities. And Barrow is just bringing liabilities, and you don't have the money. So this is where they are also having serious problems. For example, the crisis with the ferry. Instead of you prioritize, ferry is bringing million. You prioritize on that, fix it. Instead, they are all liability. The more you build tali, the more you left. So man, believe more leadership, we have to hold them accountable. We have to elect the right leaders, because this name the incompetency in the OIC organization, the process, the everything is all about incompetency, nothing else. Because if they were competent enough, and then also they have etiquettes and dignities, they will know that this is something that the whole world is watching Gambia. OIC is the second largest institution after the UN. So something like that, Gambia is holding it. Anybody who sit there to run it should know that you are running the world. This was not just Gambia. So I would continue to say leadership. If we are electing, let's elect the right leaders. The director should be the right and competent person. The permanent secretary should be the right and competent person. The minister should be the right and competent person. The president should be the right and competent person. And let's stop this thing, Nidulo Janga, to be a president. Please, the world is literate. You cannot be a president, because Barrow is a testament to that. Because of his lack of literacy, he doesn't even have the motivation to even read or understand things or know his surrounding. Barrow is a good example for us to understand that we need competent leaders to run this country, because Gambia is sinking. Barrow has brought this country into its knees, and it's painful to watch. It's extremely painful to watch. And the recent OIC is a testimony to that. He has no control. He doesn't know what is happening. He cannot even follow up all these things to understand what is what, which minister is doing what and what. And then we see even the combination of his ministers, incompetency in wrong positioning people. He has to reposition people back, because people are manning ministries that they have no clue, no competency in that. And honestly, let people not tell me, yeah, ministers is a political appointment. But you need to understand those places. How can you manage a permanent secretary? How can you manage an old institution when you don't have a clue? You should at least have some fair knowledge of this. So for me, leadership. That's the only way, because as I said, our citizenry are maimed by our presidents, our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Day. So thank you very much. On that note, we draw the curtain for this week's edition of Sky Power Civic Education Weekly Program. So I'll leave our guests, for you to draw our attention to why they did not and what's happening. So I'll leave that in your safe hand, Mr. Sulaiman Jeng. Thank you all for your time. Viewers, thanks to all comments and contribution. Omar Lum, thank you for your comments and contribution. Size and the rest of the people, thanks for passing the message on to viewers across the globe. On that note, this is where we draw the curtain for the weekly civic education program, Sky Power Radio and TV services. Mustafa Jame at the seat, saying thank you for being there. Pass the message on to your colleagues, your friends and families, wherever they are. I'll say thank you all for watching, and until we come your way, same place, same time, of Sky Power Radio and TV services. Mustafa Jame saying good evening or good afternoon or good morning to you wherever you are on this planet Earth.